God is able. From disability to possibility.
Hello po, magandang umaga, araw, gabi, mga kaagapay, saan man kayo sa mundo. Welcome po sa programang God is Able. Ako po si Pastor Paulo. Napapakinggan po tayo sa FEBC Radio TV at napapanood bumabati at sana mag-shoutout din kayo sa Facebook Live.
Yes, welcome back, Pastor Paulo. Mahaba-haba ang iyong break from God is Able program. Ayan, bukod po dyan, tayo po ay napapanood sa YouTube channel ng 702 DCAS. Ang God is Able po ay membro ng kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas o KBP. Yan, mga contact numbers natin, Pastor Paulo, 0999, just in case gusto nyo pong mag-send ng message, 223-5675. Ulitin ko po, 0999-223-5675 at 0916-296-6622. Yan. Welcome back again, Pastor Paulo. So nice to have you again here on God is Able program.
Praise God, kinagagalak ko po na makasama tayo muli at maka-encourage, makaabot sa mga kaagapay natin na affected ng kapansanan. At tunay nga, Ate Raquel, been listening to the previous interviews and conversations. Salamat po sa inyo nila Peggy at sa ating team. Napakaganda po ng ating ginagawa. So praise God.
Praise God. Ayan. O, sige po, naku, nakakatuwa. Kasi meron tayong isang professional, isang specialist na ito po ay kapartner talaga ng mga may disability, lalo na po sa area ng verbal communication. Isa ito sa talaga namang kinailangan namin noon, nung habang si Toy ay lumalaki as a person with autism. So, salamat muna kay Dr. Ferds Danda. Di ba? Kasama natin sa God is Able na siya pong nag-refer ng ating guest para sa episode na ito. Sige, Pastor Paulo, pakilala na natin siya.
Opo, binabati natin sila Doc Ferd, sila Ma'am Penny at ang mga partners natin sa UP Camp. Sila po ay napakahalagang partner ho natin, especially sa ating mobility services. And so ipakilala na natin nga po, Ate Raquel, dahil marami tayong matututunan today at nawa maka-encourage sa ating mga parents affected po ng particular condition sa kanya pong sinaserve at tinutulungan. She is actually practicing and teaching SLP sa Batangas right now and also taking up her graduate studies. At yun nga po, hindi ho to ang first time na encounter niya ang God is Able. Certainly looking forward na makasama siya sa mga future missions ng God is Able. I-welcome po natin po isang speech therapist, si Ma'am Leyden Lois Kabakungan. Welcome po to God is Able.
Magandang umaga, hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Ayan, napaka-cute ni Teacher Leyden. Teacher Leyden na lang. Sige, sabi mo, nakasama ka na sa camp ng God is Able, no? Kailan ba ito, Teacher Leyden?
Hello po. Nakasama ko po yung GIA as one of the faculty members po. May mga joint courses po or activities yung UP Camp with GIA. So, as one of the professors or one of the preceptors po nung college, so ako po yung isa sa mga sumama doon. So, I believe it's one of the seminars or conferences with families and especially the parents po of people with disabilities. So parang doon po sila tinuruan kung ano yung mga different strategies or parang testimonies. They shared testimonies po on how they could support one another in terms of being with or handling.
Wow, nakakatuwa naman Ate Raquel na nakasama natin siya and I hope na naka-minister nakatulong din sa ating mga health professionals, allied health professionals, what we do in God is Able. Naku, marami pa ho tayong pine-prepare for that and certainly not the last time. Naku Ate Rax, gusto ko na talaga malaman ano nga ba ang kanyang specialization, ano ba ang kanyang service. So siguro my first question lang Ma'am, Teacher din is usually meron preconceived notion ang isang tao, isang magulang about speech therapists, and siguro yung iniisip nila, tinutulungan yung anak nila mag-pronounce ng tamang syllables, tamang letters, makabuo ng words.
Hmm.
But we think it's much more than that. So para sa kaalaman ng ating parents at ng public, ano nga po ba ang inyo pong ginagawa at ano pong mga services ang available na ino-offer po ng mga tulad ninyo?
Yan. So, ang speech language pathologist po, so it is a professional who screens, assesses, diagnoses, and manages or gives treatment po to people who have difficulties in terms of communication and swallowing. So, it spans po when we talk about communication, we talk about the different areas involved or different processes involved in communication. So that includes language, um, including the receptive and expressive language. How do we understand the things that we listen to or that we hear? And then how do we express ourselves in a meaningful manner naman po? In terms of communication, we also talk about speech. So dun po yung sinasabi nyo na parang tinuturuan namin or we develop different teach different strategies on how we produce different sounds to form words, to form phrases, to form sentences. One aspect also of communication is hearing. So, we also cater to children or people who have difficulties with hearing po. So, we also try to develop yung kanilang speech and language skills in terms of that and improve their hearing skills in terms of communication. So, ayun po. And then in terms of swallowing, so that's also one of the area or one aspect that we are also aligned to. So if may mga children po or adults who have difficulties with swallowing, we also teach different strategies or strengthen yung mga oral muscles nila para mas maging efficient and safe yung swallow nila. So aside from the clinical side, we also educate and collaborate with the patients themselves, with their families, and the different stakeholders involved in the team. So those stakeholders include but are not limited to rehabilitation professionals like our occupational therapists and physical therapists. So baka narinig na rin po yun ng ibang tao. So those are OTs and PTs. We also collaborate with doctors, so yung mga neuros, developmental pediatricians, ENTs. We also have the opportunity to talk with school teachers, tong aming mga students, audiologists, different government officials, communities, and different organizations like GIA. Yeah, so we
Wow.
work in also different settings po. So ang dami, no? So we usually work po in private clinics and hospitals, in terms of the direct clinical services, but we can also work in the academe, in school, and in different communities nga po. So,
Oo.
ayun.
Yeah, alam mo, Pastor Paulo, kanina gusto ko sanang itanong, ano ang difference ng speech language pathology kaysa dun sa speech courses na pinag-aaralan ng mga communication students? Pero nakita ko na ang lalim pala, no? At ang lawak ng scope ng inyong ginagawa. You even mentioned about listening and swallowing. Medyo nagulat ako dun, ah. Oo.
Yes
Di ba?
po.
Actually, Ate Raquel, meron pala talagang bukod sa science, meron talagang physics to this, ano? Kaya nakaka-amaze lang din kasi ako naman, Ate Raquel, yung iniisip ko, ano pinagkaiba nito? Bukod sa sinabi mo mga nagko-course, special courses, doon naman sa mga linguists, syempre magkaiba naman talaga yun, di ba? So I really wanted to ask at this point, teacher, then as well, ano ba yung parang fundamentals of speech? I know this is gonna be a whole lecture, a whole module, pero in the shortest possible way, kasi yung mga magulang are asking, ano ba yung dapat nilang hanapin for possible speech defects or challenges sa kanilang anak? Ano ba yung basics nito na dapat mabuo sa isang bata at a certain age? At ano ba yung mga parang red flags na dapat talaga ipakonsulta nila?
Mhm. Okay. Siguro po, in terms of the scope din po of SLP, no, we don't only target or cater to pedia, so yung mga children po, but we also have adult clients po. So when we, for the children that we cater to, usually yung mga red flags po or tinitingnan kasi natin yung typical na speech and language development ng isang bata. So, sa kanilang paglaki mula sa baby until mag-school po sila, may mga expected po na mga speech and language milestones tayo na tinitingnan. And kapag hindi po nila nami-meet yung mga milestones na yun, compared to their chronological age, doon po natin nakikita yung mga red flags na yun. So it really depends on their age at saka yung expected skills sa kanila. Pagdating naman po sa mga adults, usually the people that we cater to are those po who had stroke, who had traumatic brain injury, ganyan. So kapag kunwari before po good naman yung communication skills nila, but because of that incident, because of that stroke or TBI, na-impair or hindi sila makalunok or hindi sila makapagsalita well, that's where we come in. So we also look at ano ba yung structures pwedeng may nagkaroon po ng problema sa or naging weak yung structures nila na ginagamit sa paglunok at pagsasalita. So, yun yung ina-assess natin and doon po tayo nagbibigay ng treatment. Yun. So the entire process of it is that we assess to look at the baseline skills, ano na yung kaya or ano na yung mga skills na nagagawa nila at present, and then we plan and collaborate also with the patient and with their families kung ano yung mga goals po na gagawin nila. And then yun po yung tinatry nating i-target during therapy. So
Teacher
ayun po.
din, at what age ba sa isang bata na masasabi natin na wala itong concern sa speech?
Na wala
ano
pong
dapat?
concern.
At ano dapat ang kaya niya nang sabihin?
Katulad po ng sinabi ko no, na parang it really depends on the age and the milestones that you are targeting or expected po sa kanila. So, usually sa babies pa lang po, we look at different behaviors. Meron tayong mga tinatawag na precursory language skills kung saan ito yung mga behaviors na tinitingnan natin to say na ready mag-develop ng language yung ating mga babies pag sila ay lumaki. So are they able to look at you? Kapag nagsasalita po kayo sa kanila, nakaka-follow ba sila ng sounds, ganyan? Are they able to babble, to coo? Are they able to imitate motor movements, ganyan? So, yun po yung some of the behaviors that we look at for babies. When they grow older, kapag toddlers naman po, tinitingnan natin ano yung mga words that they are able to understand already, and ano na po yung how do they communicate themselves? Are they using one-word utterances, two-word utterances? So, mas nag-i-increase din. We expect that the length and the complexity increases as they grow older as well. So, if hindi po nila nami-meet yung communication skills nila, considering the demands that they have, pwedeng sa bahay or sa school, hindi nila nako-communicate ng maayos yung sarili nila, then that warrants po a concern or a red flag na pwede nating tingnan or we can consult with a speech language pathologist. So, ayun po.
Mahalaga yun, Ate Rax, yung tanong mo kasi may mga magulang siguro napapansin nila na may something na parang off or minsan parang nakukulangan sila sa milestones development ng anak nila pero sinasantabi nila kahit sinisip nila, matututo rin yan, baka kulang lang sa kausap, kulang sa exposure, especially nung pandemic, yung mga pandemic babies talaga nakulong sa bahay, wala masyadong social interaction. Pero mga magulang mahalaga ho na kung may mga ganito na ho kayo napapansin, na tila hindi ho mga expected na developments or milestones, talagang kailangan na ho natin magpakonsulta. Ma'am, teacher din tanong ko more from the emotional point of view kasi baka may mga magulang na bukod sa ganun mag-isip na thinking they can work things out, baka natatakot din, na-intimidate din sa entire treatment or therapy process. Baka iniisip nila hindi accessible, magastos, baka time consuming especially pag working sila. What would you tell those parents na may ganung klaseng reservations about seeking help and therapy?
Ayun. It's a usual case po that I also encounter, no. So, um, sometimes or at the start po, I do understand where they're coming from na may mga other perceptions pa rin kasi po about disability or the different diagnosis na at the start the children or rather the parents po are not um parang hindi pa nila na-accept na may ganong condition yung anak nila. So, we also have to approach it in a way that we are sensitive also to their current situation, to their current needs. So, baka hindi nga nila alam um, yung condition ng anak nila, what autism, for example, what autism is, ganyan. So, we empathize with them, we counsel them, and support them in the best possible way that we can, knowing na kahit na may ganong condition yung anak nila, we can provide support from them, and there is help available sa kanila. So, ayun, so part also of the thing that I do is that aside from that as well, I try to give them or counsel them kung ano yung mga strategies na pwede nilang gawin sa bahay para at least kumbaga may role din po sila sa pag-support ng mga anak.
Plan talaga, ano. Oo. Oo.
Yun.
Teacher din, may tanong ako. Kasi kanina na-mention mo na nga yung hearing, ano ang relationship between speaking and hearing?
Mhm. And
Sorry,
hearing po.
parang
Opo.
napaka-raw ng tanong ko, pero
Sige, okay lang
oo,
po.
paano yun? Oo, oo.
Yes, yes. Ayan. So, 'di ba tayo po when we talk or when we talk with other people, it's a two-way street, 'di ba? So when I talk, you listen. And then from what I say po, what you hear, dun natin tinitingnan or dun natin iniisip kung ano ba yung mga words na i-respond natin appropriate dun sa sinabi natin. So, when that is cut off, kapag hindi natin naririnig what the other people is saying, hindi rin natin maiintindihan kung ano ba yung message na pinaparating sa atin, and then at the same time hindi rin natin ma-express yung sarili natin or hindi tayo makakapag-come up ng response na appropriate din po dun sa sinasabi niya. So, ayun po, yun yung role ng ating hearing
Oo. So
in terms
parang
of communication.
so parang walang communication na mangyayari kapag one way lang. Marunong siya magsalita, salita lang siya ng salita, pero hindi niya
Mm-mm.
naiintindihan
Opo,
yung
opo.
sinasabi.
Ayun.
So,
Siguro po that is in as part of the verbal communication po, no? Pero siguro as SLPs also, one of the things that we also do is we also advocate for looking for alternative means to communicate.
Ayun, salamat sa answer mo. Teacher din, hindi kasi natin nabibigyang pansin na communication, kahit naman sa atin po mga malalaki na po, should be two-way. Not only do you speak, kahit nga sa church, you have to be good listeners, tinuturuan tayo. Ang
Mm.
follow-up ko naman ay do sa swallowing. That's quite interesting for me. Ano naman yung kahalagahan ng swallowing in relation to being able to speak?
Wala po sila actually in relationship with one another, no? But because we use the same structures to talk and we use the same structures to swallow. Kaya po siya, parang it's also one of the areas that we cater to po. Ayun.
parang address that kapag may concern sa swallowing. Paano yun? Kayo ang may mga therapy ginagawa or nire-refer nyo sa mga doktor? Paano yun?
Same din po with communication pronunciation, no? So we assess po yung integrity ng kanilang oral structures. Are they able to move them appropriately and efficiently? So if may weakness po from different areas, so yun yung tinatry nating strengthen para mas manguya nila ng maayos yung mga pagkain nila. Um, Hindi nagkakaroon ng spillage or hindi natatapon. At saka pag lumunok po sila ay safe siya. Hindi siya napupunta sa airway natin. Yan, kasi especially for adult clients, usually yun po yung nagiging problem, no? So, yan, kapag meron po silang NGT, ano yung safe way or to clean them, yung hygiene, ano yung how to maintain oral hygiene din sa ating bibig, kapag hindi po sila nakakakain pa. So, yan, those are the areas po for swallowing naman.
Teacher, then may follow-up question pa ako.
Yes po.
Yung tanong ko napakasimple talaga. Pwede mo bang paki pwede mo magsalita ka katulad ng isang tao na may concern sa swallowing? Pwede mo
Ah,
magsalita.
usually po, ano ba? Hindi ko maalala kung paano. Pero wala pa din po kasi ako masyadong clients po na may difficulties with swallowing eh. Pero sometimes po, they can speak clearly din naman po. May mga ibang structures lang din sila na hindi magagalaw ng maayos. So, ayan, you may hear po siguro na um, medyo slurred yung speech nila. So, they're not able to produce sounds appropriately dahil nga if hindi nila magalaw ng maayos din yung tongue nila. So, ayun. Baka may ganun pong quality of speech. Pero in terms of ano po how they do it, parang hindi ko na po, hindi ko na ma-recall, hindi ko na po maalala.
Thank you.
Ayun.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. Thanks, Teacher Den, for explaining these important foundational things. Ako kasi, Ate Raquel, may mga pamangkin ako na mga pa-toddler age pa lang. So I'm wondering if gaano kalaki yung role to play ng nurture as against nature sa pagtuturo ng speech or pagsasalita. Meron bang usually nakakaligtaan ng isang magulang or caregiver sa pagtitrain? Dapat ba mas maging intentional? Meron bang mga bagay that dapat gawin early on para ma-avoid yung mga delays sa pagsasalita? Or talagang may mga bagay na hindi na talaga madedevelop at kailangan talaga pagplanuhan na or kailangan na interventions na?
Opo. Siguro po, doon sa mga children, may mga clients din po kasi ako na may meet na ang usual concern nila is that their child is delayed po in terms of their speech and language development. So when we look at the case history, parang nire-report nila na usually or growing up, the child was left alone, pwedeng nanonood lang ng TV growing up, ganyan, or pakakainin lang tapos left alone na sa crib. So, important po kasi for speech and language development, yun din po yung role ng hearing, no, na naririnig nila yung language around them. So, we have to be intentional in a way that we should play with our children. Kasi that's also one way on how they explore the world around them. Yun yung kanilang primary na occupation. So, we have to provide multiple opportunities for them to be able to explore themselves, play with different toys, or communicate with you po. So, yung role ng mga magulang is that, or the people around them rather, is that they should talk with their children. So, one of the things also that we tell our parents is that we should bathe our child with language. So, lahat ng nakikita niya, lahat ng ginagawa niya, we tell them, so parang nagnanarrate tayo ng mga ginagawa niya para nakikita niya or may namamap na words doon sa actions na ginagawa niya and doon sa mga things na nakikita niya around them. So, ayun po, one way kasi for children to be able to understand um, what words represent is that it should be experiential also for them. And they should hear those words multiple times para mas tumatak sa kanila na ito yung tawag sa mga bagay na nakikita at ginagawa ko. Ayun.
Yung nag-iisang anak namin, Teacher Denden, ay may autism. And he's 24 years old when turning 25. Yun, ginawa namin yan eh. Ginawa namin talaga,
Mm-mm.
nag-therapy din siya, OT and speech therapy. Pero hanggang ngayon, he can communicate but not in paragraphs. Pero matalas ang comprehension. Yung words talaga ang
Mhm.
kulang. Ang kulang sa kanya. May nagsabi na it goes with age daw. Kapag umabot siya ng ganitong age, mag improve naman yan. True enough, malaki na rin talagang improvement niya ngayon. Ano?
Mm-mm.
Pero para sa age niya yan, hindi pa rin. Hindi pa rin. No? So, ito siguro ay tanong ko at baka tanong din ng ibang mga parents ano, na pareho kami ng mga kondisyon ng anak. May hope pa ba na magsalita or ma-improve pa yung speech nila?
Mm, Definitely po, there is a way for us to, kumbaga to improve pa yung speech and language skills ng ating mga anak. Pero napakarami din po kasing factors yung tinitingnan natin na that could affect one's development din po. So, ayun, may mga other cases naman po na if hindi talaga efficient yung speech and language na communication skills nila through verbal means, so that is through speaking, we try to look themselves better. Kasi parang at the end of the day, ang goal din po natin is that they are not able to express themselves verbally, but to express themselves efficiently and the best way possible. So may mga iba din po kasi talagang cases na hindi po nade-develop well or kumbaga hindi talaga nila na-express yung sarili nila efficiently ng speech lang talaga. So we look for alternative means to be able to express themselves. So, dun po papasok yung AAC or yung alternative and augmentative communication, wherein we look at different ways nga kung paano makapag-communicate. So we use, actually sign language is one part of AAC. May mga aided systems that we provide. Pwedeng yung mga manual communication boards po. So I'm not sure if you've heard of it already na may mga pictures or icons in a board. So, pwedeng paper lang siya, board lang siya, or high-tech in a high-tech device. So, pwedeng application siya na downloaded in an iPad or in a tablet, and then um a student or a client. So, ayun.
Kasi yan ang concern lalo na sa tertiary education ano ng
Mm-mm.
anak ko at mga anak din siguro ng iba na may autism din na yun ang actually ang reason kung ba't hindi makapunta ng college na ano, hindi makapunta
Mm-mm.
ng university kasi kayang maintindihan pero hindi kayang ma-express in words. So, yun. Paano naman yung mga ibang mga courses na kailangan nilang pag-aralan. So, yun talagang pumipigil, ano, di ba, Pastor Paolo?
Mm-mm.
Dinigat ko po yung puso nyo, Ate Raquel, para kay Toy. Let me also say, para sa mga hindi pa nakakilala kay Toy, yung mga bagay na nasasabi ni Toy, napakasarap pakinggan. In fact, I think nagmana siya sa'yo, Ate Raquel. Ang boses niya, if I may comment, pang radyo. He says, "Hi, Pastor Paolo, so beautifully. I appreciate it." Siguro dun din sa tema ng hope yung next question ko kay Teacher Denden. iba-iba kasi yung cases, so iba-iba rin yung parang approach, saka iba-iba rin yung expectations. But generally speaking, sa yung practice at sa mga napag-uusapan nyo sa inyong circles and communities, um, ano yung hope na pwedeng panghawakan ng isang magulang or caregiver? Ano yung pwede niyang asahan? Siyempre, we pray that because nothing is impossible with God. Pero He also
Mhm.
operates in this world. He also operates through our daily existence. Ano yung mga hope na binibigay niyo sa parents? Na what is the vision for you? What is the idea of improvement for you?
Mhm. Ayun. So, tama po yun, no, Pastor Paolo, na sinabi niyo kanina na it really varies per case. It really varies per client, yung development nila. Sometimes their development can grow or you can see improvement in a span of a few months lang. Others, it would really take years po, no? So, the hope siguro that I want to share is that there is help available, na it's something that we can do. And yun nga, communication is not limited through verbal means only. Um, it also goes two ways. It's not only the role of a PWD to be able to improve themselves or improve yung communication skills nila, but we also have a role as part of the community to be able to understand and learn where they are coming from as well. Na if we do not know well how to um be with a person with disability, how to communicate with them, then I think it's also our responsibility to take initiative on becoming more disability aware and sensitive, and in that way we could build a more inclusive community para kumbaga hindi lang nasa kanila yung bigat na kailangan nilang matutunan paano magsalita. Pero tayo din as family members, we also have to learn where they are coming from. We also have to learn their language. So, ayun, kagaya nga po ng sinabi ko, communication, parang there are many ways to communicate, and we really have to, parang the end goal palagi is how do we communicate efficiently and effectively with the people that we cater to.
Ate Raquel, I just wanna respond to that kasi parang isa sa mga take-homes ko sa conversation na to, sabi nga ni Teacher Den, communication is a multi-way street. Hindi lang siya expressed one way. But siguro another thing that I'm capturing, reminded of, is communication is a heart-to-heart thing.
Yeah.
May mga bagay na nasasabi ng salita, pero may mga bagay na hindi kayang i-capture ng salita o ng visuals. Nako-communicate sa puso.
Mhm.
Minsan nga mata sa mata, puso sa puso, shared experience. Siguro isa ko pang take home is that tama nga si Teacher Den, it's a collaborative community experience. And doon sa mga kaagapay natin na baka hindi pa kayo naka-like sa ating Facebook page, napakaganda ng 10 Commandments na mga series of videos na pinost ng God is Able, because part 2 doon yung paano mag-communicate sa isang tao na may iba't ibang klaseng kapansanan. So sana ma-check out nyo yung material na yun sa Facebook page ng God is Able. Di ba nag-promote na rin?
Oo nga, of course. Thank you, Pastor Paulo. Totoo yun, ano, kasi napaka-practical naman eh. Yung 10 Commandments na yun, very doable talaga. Oo, Teacher Den, kukunti kayo. Actually, yan ang struggle namin nung si Toy ay nagte-therapy pa nung bata-bata pa siya. Kasi a few months lang namin makakasama. Ayan, nagpupunta na ng abroad. I think we need to have more people, no? More students na talagang i-take up ang speech pathology course. Ano ba
Mm.
ang parang kailangang taglay ng isang estudyante para magustuhan niya yung course na yon or magkaroon siya ng passion para sa course?
Mhm. Um, Siguro po, you have to look SP. May mga iba po kasi na parang pumapasok sa programa dahil narinig lang nila yun, um, or narinig nila na malaki yung sweldo. So that is a common parang saying kung bakit sila pumapasok dun sa program, no? But siguro I want to share that it's really more than that, no? SLP is a service profession. It's a giving profession talaga. So for you to be able to stay in the profession, aside from the knowledge and skills that you need to have in order to handle different clients, kasi nga across the lifespan siya eh. You really have to have patience and understanding. And sometimes you have to extend your patience way beyond your capacity. So it has its difficulties, but it is really a fulfilling one naman po. Ayan. So, ayun po. So, since it's a giving profession, parang you really have to be connected to your source. You always have to make sure that your cup is filled so that you have something to pour out to others as well para maka-avoid din siya ng burnout.
Yung
Ayun
speech
po.
pathology ba, Teacher Denden, was your first choice?
Actually, I wanted to be a doctor po. So, parang I took SP as as my pre-med course initially. Pero when I entered the program, when I learned about it, and when I knew how big the demand is, so I chose to stay in the program and practice it afterwards.
Oo, so nakatapos ka na ng master's, ano?
Yes po.
Oo, pag graduate ka na ng master's program ng speech pathology, ano pa? What is it na pwede nyo pang i-offer?
Um, yung iba naman po, when they graduate their BS course, yung BS Speech Pathology, um, some take up yung mga free courses po, not free rather, pero yung mga continuing education courses, so that specialize in different areas. So, yun po yung mga iba't ibang things na pwede pa naming parang i-engage with. So, some opt to take a master's degree. After their master's, some push through with PhD, pero parang bihira lang din po yung kilala ko pa na nagtitake nun. Usually kapag kailangan talaga sa line of work, especially in the academe, those who are involved in the academe, nagtitake pa sila ng PhD. Pero yung iba naman po, they take mga short courses or mga seminars that target yung mga areas of specialization nila.
Pwede mo bang ma-encourage yung mga students natin who are probably seeking for a course in college, ano? Why take up speech language pathology?
Ang lawak po nun. Siguro po if you love communicating with other people, if you love talking and you love eating, 'di ba? And imagine siguro na you're not able to do that one day. Um that's where you come in. That's where you help those people. Na you teach them or you help them say a word, you teach them to communicate again. You teach them how to eat enjoyably again. So, ayun po. It is a lot of work, pero kagaya nga pa ng sinabi ko kanina, it is a fulfilling one. And yun nga, few lang tayo. So, kailangan tayo ng bansa. Ayun
Oh,
po.
yung reward Pastor Paulo yung eating. Kasama yung eating.
Gusto natin yan, eating, masaya, nagpapasarap talaga.
Oo.
Isa na namang common language of communication shared pagkain.
Yes.
Tama. Teacher Denden, paano mo na integrate paano mo ginagawang ministry ang iyong profession as a speech language pathologist?
Mhm. Actually po, when I was in college pa, I saw how integrated SP is in terms of my ministry in such a way that in one of our rotation sites, we are asked to go to different places or go to communities talaga to be able to provide therapy services. And parang I saw lang how it was related to Jesus as who went out of his way talaga to meet those people, 'di ba? The blind, to heal the blind man, those with leprosy. So yung mga different miracles po na yun na hindi yung mga tao na yun yung pumunta kay Jesus, pero si Jesus mismo yung pumunta sa mga lugar na yun. And yun, parang I saw that my role then as a speech therapist is um to give that hope, to go to those places who are unreached, and give that short, parang small hope to them, to help them to be able to communicate as well. And then siguro po, being in the academe also, um parang kailangan na natin maging strategic kung paano paano tayo, paano rarami yung mga SLPs po 'no, na we really are teaching the next generation of SLPs din. And siguro my role as a teacher in that area is to not only to provide them or to teach them um all these things related to SLP, but to teach them compassion, to teach them service above all, na yung motivation nila to be able to serve the people is not only rooted because they want to earn for themselves, but because of the hope, the support that they are given to the people around them. So ayun po. Ano pa ba? Siguro I do also engage in yung mga um free therapy services. So pag may mga opportunities po in that area, we go to different places who are unreached nga. Parang in my background po as a Sunday school student before na who exposed to missions, ganyan. So I saw it also as a way to kumbaga ngayon I do missions, pero na-apply ko na yung course ko, na-apply ko na yung profession ko in that aspect as well. So ayun, if there are also opportunities for me to be able to share my expertise, kunwari sa pagtuturo ng Sunday school, ganyan. So I am able to understand where the students are coming from as well. Paano ma-manage better yung behavior nila. So, ayun po.
Nakakatuwa yung whole life integration ni teacher din. Nakakatuwa din. Thank you for sharing din about your Sunday school experience. Nakakatuwa din na yung mga bata na nagkaroon ng ganong klase exposure, we're now seeing them serve and in the name of the Lord and with the heart of the Lord. So nakakatuwa. Teacher din, we'd like you to have this platform din to encourage din siguro young people. Sabi nga kanina, there's not a lot of you. And there's so much pala to this science. There's so much to this discipline that you're in. And there's so few of you in the Philippines across the board. OT, PT, ST. It will take another episode to diagnose why that is. Pero siguro, ano lang siguro yung gusto mong sabihin, especially sa kabataan, why take this up? If maybe siguro may early signs sila, what were the early signs na inimpress ni Lord sa iyo that you should pursue this course, this discipline? Baka meron din sila nun eh. Baka yun din makatulong sa kanila as they choose their future careers at pinagpipray nila.
Mhm. Katulad po ng sinabi ko kanina, no, I entered SLP because I wanted to be a doctor, particularly because I want to be in a medical profession, and at the same time I want to cater to kids, to children primarily. So parang yun talaga yung desire ng heart ko. But when I entered to SLP nga po, I saw how it was also targeting those areas na parang dahil gusto ko rin, kumbaga yung kagustuhan ko to be in a medical profession and to cater to kids, na-address niya rin siya in being an SLP. Um, siguro if you are a high school student looking for a profession or a course on what to take in college and you're still undecided, um, you also have to look back at ano ba yung gusto mo? Ano ba yung line of work or ano ba yung interests mo? Ano ba yung talents mo? And prayerfully consider or discern kung ano yung profession that would best fit it. Kasi, um, ayun, if parang the Lord aligns yung talents mo, the Lord aligns your interests with the line of profession that you want to take as well. So you may not see it now. Maybe it's too far from the future or you don't know how things would end up well. But if you really prayed about it and yan, see or look at the open opportunities around you, then you might consider taking up SPPT and OT. So if you want to be in a medical profession as well, if you want working with kids or helping adult people, 'di ba? In terms of being able to communicate and for you.
Grabe. Teacher Den, ano ang reward sa'yo ng pagiging speech language pathologist? Mga rewards sa'yo.
Um, Reward po sa akin. Siguro being able to see that my clients improve. That is the best reward that I could parang receive. Being able to see them parang see their progress na before umiiyak lang siya during the session, pero ngayon mas madaldal pa siya sa akin, ganyan. Being able to see na the parents slowly be involved in the session and then at the same time share their success stories with you also. Now, teacher, si ganito, nag-improve na siya sa school or promoted na siya to grade 1, ganyan. So that also gives me fulfillment. In terms of the students naman that I teach, when I see that they are able to handle their clients better, if they are able to understand yung mga lectures that I teach and I see how they process things, they're able to integrate or apply what they have learned in the classroom in their clinical practice. That's also fulfilling for me po. So, ayun.
Ayun. Thank you, Teacher Den. Oo, yung rewards, they even outweigh the sacrifices and the hard work,
Yes.
that you put into the profession. Grabe, thank you. Yan. So I think pa sa Paolo, wala na tayong time, Thank you,
Yes.
ha. Thank
Sobrang
you,
busog na
teacher.
busog tayo.
Oo, ang dami pa natin talagang pwede sanang i-unpack,
Mm.
Kaya lang very limited po yung ating time slot. But Teacher Denden, thank you, ha. And
Thank you.
sana talaga
Yeah.
marami pa ang maging katulad mo kasi kailangan kayo ng bansa natin. Parang yung proportion ng mga may disability, yung data ngayon hindi na pumapantay dun sa mga professionals na supposed to be ka-partner namin, Kaya sana talaga marami pa. So thank you and God bless you.
God bless
whatever.
you. Thank you so
what you're
much.
doing. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
po. Thank you rin po
Ayan.
for having me.
Ayan. Tapos na naman po ang ating isang oras na pagsasama-sama dito sa ating program na God is Able. Mga kaagapay, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig at panonood. Ito po ang programang God is Able, Servisyong TWD. Ako po si Raquel Camolandong.
Ako naman po si Brother Paolo Sanchez. Nawa ako nakapaglaan tayo ng katatagan at mga pag-asa sa mga minamahal nating Filipino PADs. At Ate Raquel, ano bang ating paniniwala at pag-asa?
Yes, ito. From
From disability to possibility.
Possibility. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po. God bless you. Thank you po.
God is able. From disability to possibility.